What's up everybody, Dominic from CMAC here, and in today's video I'll be covering our Sony X70 field kit, specifically what comes in the bag, how to format your SD card, and how to set your camera for auto. So, stay tuned. The X70 is one of several cameras CMAC has to offer for its members and is covered in our field workshop. When you check out the camera, it will come in this bag and will have an associated inventory number on one side. The main pouch is in the center with the camera inside and two batteries, a large and a small one. You also find a white card for white balancing along with two laminated cheat sheets for quick tips on various settings. The camera itself has a lens hood, a lens cap, and a shotgun mic with a wind filter. The bag has two side pouches for extra storage. This larger one has the AC power supply in case you want to plug the camera directly into a wall socket for constant power. You also find a lens cleaner and cloth in case you need them. And lastly, a battery charger. Now let's go over how to format your SD card. Make sure you have a class 10 SD card. You'll see on the card the little circle with a 10 inside. I recommend having an SD card size of at least 32 gigabytes and a write speed of at least 50 megabits per second when it comes to recording in a resolution of either 720 and 1080. For higher recording modes like 4K, we recommend 64 gigabyte cards with a write speed rating of U3 or 90 megabits per second. Using a smaller sized SD card or one that is slower may result in those modes being unavailable. SD cards are fairly inexpensive these days and you can purchase one for about $10 anywhere like Amazon or Best Buy. Make sure to either plug in the AC cable or insert the battery to power on the camera. As soon as you open the LCD screen, the camera will turn on. To turn it off, you can either close the screen or press and hold the power button on the side of the camera. The SD card slot is just under this flap by these buttons. You'll see an A and B slot. If you're only using one card to record, it doesn't matter which one you put it in. So let's go ahead and put this card in A. You might see a warning appear on the screen saying inconsistencies found, repair database. I'm going to select yes by either touching the screen or using this gray joystick at the back of the camera and pressing into it to make my selection. The camera will do its thing and now you're ready to format. You'll need to access the menu, which you'll find the button underneath the screen and use the same joystick to navigate. This is the main menu and you'll need to go to the bottom section titled Others, press into the joystick and go down until you find Media Format and select it. Choose either A or B depending on which slot you placed your SD card in. Click OK by either tapping on the screen or the gray joystick at the back of the camera. Remember that formatting your SD card will erase everything, so make sure to back up any data before you format. You can press the menu button to get out of this menu. Now let's go over how to set up your camera in automatic mode. If you don't know what that means, it's when the camera decides the best settings for you based on how much light is coming into the camera. The quicker option is here at the back of the camera. You'll see a toggle switch for either manual or auto. Just move it to auto. Another thing you can set to auto is focus. Towards the front of the camera on the left side of the lens are two different controls. A toggle switch for either zoom or focus, and AM/MF. The switch toggle is to decide whether this ring on the lens is to manually control your focus or zoom. The button below is what you'll press for either manual focus or autofocus. On the screen towards the bottom left, you'll see a small icon appear and disappear based on your selection. Manual focus is represented by a hand with the letter F inside. For autofocus, the icon will disappear entirely. One last thing to set is your audio controls. You'll see two channels depending if you're only using one or two different microphones. Flip these switches to auto and the camera will handle the leveling for you. Just be sure that your channel settings are correct, like using both channel 1 and 2 versus just channel 1. The record channel select switch should be set to channel 1. If it's set to channel 1, channel 2, the camera will ignore any microphone connected to channel 2. And determining if your mic input is either line, mic, or plus 48 volts. I'll cover this in more detail in a later tutorial. Now the camera is set and you're ready to record. And that does it for this video tutorial on the X70 kit. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can catch this along with other video tutorials on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram via @CMACTV, as well as our cable and YouTube channels. Take care.